Have you ever watched a politician answer a simple question and realize you still have no idea what they are saying? Imagine your plumber turning up, scratching his head and admitting he is not quite sure what a pipe is. That is what British politics looks like right now. If I told you the Prime Minister said, "I do not know what a woman is, but I am fine with it," you would wonder whether you had accidentally stumbled into a Monty Python sketch. Here in rural Thailand, I deal with huge red ants in the mango trees, leaky roofs, and the occasional sad buffalo. And even I know that when someone says one thing and does another, you do not trust them. So, let us talk about trust, because when the folks at the top cannot define the basics like what is a woman or who keeps us safe, you had better sit up, make a cup of tea or something stronger and listen. Alright, I am your grumpy old Englishman living out here in Isaan, Thailand, far from the big smoke, but still keeping a close eye on dear old Blighty. What's more, let me tell you, I am scratching my head more often these days because something just is not right. The question I am raising today is this: how on earth can we trust our politicians, especially those claiming to lead us, the likes of Sir Keir Starmer and his ministers, when they are tripping over the basics, hiding problems, spinning half-truths, and sometimes doing a two-tier version of law enforcement? What is a woman? Well, picture this. You are in a pub quiz. The question asked, what is a woman? You shout an adult human female, and that is it. If you get it wrong, you buy the next round. Simple. Now, imagine the Prime Minister of the UK, Sir Keir Starmer, being asked the same question, and instead of a clear answer, you get spinning fudge and a backpedal. In April 2025, a court held that under the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom's ruling, a woman means adult female. However, prior to that, Sir Keir had supported statements like trans women are women. So when the man whose job it is to guide the nation cannot give a consistent answer, how can we trust his word on anything more complex, like national security, prisons, policing? On top of that, it is not just the definition. It is a feeling that his team has been dancing around just to keep the peace, rather than saying what they truly believe or addressing the realities. When your leader cannot or will not answer a question, you would ask your teenager, there is something wrong. Now, let us move on to the second big point. Are they keeping Britain safe? We expect the government to protect all British citizens, to catch the crooks, fix the streets and maintain order. However, if they are ignoring problems, downgrading facts or spinning untruths, then whose side are they really on? Here I am, in my humble Thai home, watching news on my laptop, scratching my neck. I see headlines: law enforcement will be strengthened. Yet the next day you hear about one rule for the powerful, another for the rest of us. The classic grey suits being ushered out the back door while we are all told the system worked. Is that two-tier enforcement which angers me? If a top level official gets a slap on the wrist while Joe Public gets the full handcuffs and headlines and something smells. Take the example of the definition I mentioned. The government changes its stance when the court says something. However, why were we fudging it before? Was it because public safety, women's rights, fairness were considered? Or because avoiding a row was easier than holding a principle? That reveals a trust gap. If you cannot rely on them to say what they mean, how are you meant to rely on what they do? Let us get to the juicy bit, the suspicion of two-tier justice. You will have heard it. Big names, big headlines, big hush, hush. Meanwhile, ordinary folk, average taxpayers, get the full glare of the law. The impression being given is, you obey the rule, but we will bend it for ourselves. That is not right or fair. I remember when I worked overseas, construction workers and labourers from Thailand and South Asia knew their jobs, followed instructions and were paid accordingly. Is someone up top cutting corners? Boom, he was kicked off. Yet now the public sees a prime minister, mayors, ministers walking free from clear ethical questions. You tell me if that builds belief in the system. It builds cynicism. It is not just the PM, as it is the others too. For instance, the Sir Sadiq Khan, or Sadiq Khan rather, Mayor of London. These folks are supposed to be the face of the people, the face of trust. And once I had a friend tell me, if you cannot trust the mayor to tell the truth about potholes, why should I trust him about terrorism or grooming gangs? He had a point. When you get a politician saying one thing, then evidence or events show something else. That undermines everything. If they say we are tackling crime, but you have just seen your neighbour's car stolen and there is no follow-up, you are thinking, are you talking about my street or someone else's? The gap between words and reality is what eats credibility. Now, picture this old expat, me, sitting in my garden in Thailand, feeding the stray dogs, dodging the geckos on the wall, when suddenly a snake slithers by, the size of a baby's arm. Then I think, if you cannot trust a neighbour to tell me which snakes are harmless and what will bite, I will not trust him with my lawnmower. In the same way, if I cannot trust the government to define what a woman is or to apply law equally, I will not trust them to mow down the real risks. It is funny, yes, but also serious. I know about the beasts in my backyard. I know the rules for living here. If the house says beware of the snake and there is no snake, I am relieved. If there is a snake and the sign is missing, I am annoyed. Our society is like that. We need signs we can trust. Let me share a couple of everyday ones. The postal worker sneaks past my gate and mutters, "There is something odd in the mail today." I ask what? He shrugs. If the post office cannot give you straight answers, how will the big people do it? The local village meeting says, we will fix the water pump next week. And next week nothing happens, and they blame budget or weather or unforeseen circumstances over and again. Reliability means doing and telling. Back in the UK, imagine you ask your local MP, will you define a woman? Will you explain why my street is unsafe? Why are the big shots getting breaks I cannot? If you get a fluff answer, you get pissed off. These little things add up. You do not need spectacular scandals, just consistent dodgy answers. It builds a feeling that the system is not for everyone. So why am I making such a fuss? Because the stakes are high. Trusting government is like trusting the umbrella when the monsoon hits. If it leaks, you get soaked. If the law is applied half-heartedly, you feel unsafe. If definitions are fuzzy, you feel vulnerable. If justice is for some but not all, you feel left out. When you are living abroad as I am, you compare such things. Thailand has its quirks, sure, but when local officials say something, people tend to hold them liable eventually. Where you have central government that seems to be wriggling out of questions, you lose faith. Not only that, without faith, democracy becomes theatre. Words, not action. Flash, not substance. We end up with headlines and press releases instead of proper service and protection. Here is a kicker. Can we trust them? I would say not yet. We can hope and we can push, because without trust, government becomes just a cost. Here are things we should demand. Clear definitions, clear words. If you are the leader, know your terms. Do not waffle. Consistent actions. If someone says equal law for all, prove it with examples, not just press conferences. Transparency when things go wrong. Say, we messed up. Here is how we will fix it. Do not hide behind PR. Fair enforcement. No tiers, one law for all. If you do not believe that, you do not believe in justice. Responsiveness. If people say we do not feel safe, listen and act. Do not shrug and repeat slogans. If our leaders start doing that, maybe I will swap my grumpy hat for a jaunty cap again. Until then, I would keep watching the moon over rice paddies, scratching my head and muttering about trust and truth. So there you have it, a grumpy old Englishman's verdict on trust, politicians and safety. If the people who lead us cannot agree what a woman is, cannot match words to deeds, and seem to run separate justice systems for separate people, then you have a serious problem in Britain. Nevertheless, this is not just moaning by a bloke in Thailand. It is a call, a reminder that trust is not automatic. It is earned. And if you or I are not getting it, we must ask for it. Here is my final image. Imagine the same garden, the gecko, the stray dogs and the snakes slithering off into the jungle. You hear the cricket song. You feel safe because you know the fence works. Our society should feel like that. Secure, dependable, honest. So let us insist on it. So I will finish with this. If our leaders cannot define the basics, let alone protect the public properly, then we must hold them to account. Not with shouting, but with steady questions and a firm expectation. Because a society that cannot trust those at the top soon loses trust in itself. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to check whether the buffalo is eyeing my mango tree again. Stay sceptical, stay engaged, and for heaven's sake, demand honesty. You deserve it. I deserve it. Our British democracy deserves it. If you found this worthwhile or outright ranted along with me, drop a comment, hit like, share with someone who needs a good grumpy rant today, and subscribe for more old expats perspectives with a dash of humour and a hint of sarcasm. What do you think? Can our leaders be trusted to tell the truth? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Take care and goodbye.